So you guys have clicked on this video today to find out how you can get headshots a lot easier and faster in Black Ops 7. Now this seems to be a thing in every single Call of Duty. To unlock camos, you need to get yourself quite a lot of headshots. This year you do need to get 80 headshots on multiple different weapons, mainly your assault rifles, LMGs, etc. But we are going to break down how you can get them a little bit faster and a little bit easier. If you do enjoy Black Ops 7 content, make sure you do subscribe to the channel, drop a like if you do enjoy today's video as well, and let me know how many gold weapons you have so far. Now so far guys, I have got about 4 or 5 different golden weapons. Majority of them are the assault rifles, and then I've got a launcher gold as well. If you do want to know how to get them quick, I'll leave a link down below. But in terms of the headshot counts, like I said, you need 80 per weapon. Now some weapons I found it's been easier than others, but it's all about balancing and learning recoil patterns, which we'll touch on in just a moment's time. But the question is, what have I actually been playing and how have I been getting these headshots? Now in all honesty, I have literally been playing Core Domination and also Core Hardpoint. What I found is being the most biggest advantage playing these game modes is I try and get a higher ground advantage 9 times out of 10. Once I've got this higher advantage, I'll find a place where we're going to be locking down the B flag from a little distance, or I'll find a place from a little distance where the hard point's going to be, because you know there's going to be a lot of foot traffic heading to those objectives. Then once you've got that little point where you want to, you know, set up and focus on getting those headshots and getting those kills on the objective, that's when you need to start thinking, how am I going to get these headshots a little bit easier? So what I've decided to do is aim for the person's neck. As you're aware, there's a lot of recoil in some of these weapons. Specifically, let's say the Peacekeeper, I found that very difficult. So I found that if I aim at the chest, if I'm aiming down from a high advantage point, there's a higher chance I'm going to be hitting the head, just with how they might maneuver and move away from my bullets and my shots. Now if you're on a level playing field, you want to actually, it sounds daft, but you want to aim above the head and pull the weapon down. As we're aware, the TTK is very high in Black Ops 7, so by the time you finish shooting from the chest to the head, because people tend to work their way up with the recoil pattern, you'll find yourself actually killing them at the neck and not the head, and killing them in the neck is not going to, you know, count as a headshot. So you then want to start aiming above the head and dragging it down. You can go ahead and play hardcore. Like I said, these are just the 2 game modes I've been playing. Hardcore is obviously going to be easier to get the headshots in one sense, because it's pretty much one tap to the head and they are done. So yes, I admit maybe it's a little bit easier, but you're going to have to be playing maps like Hijacked on a regular basis instead of these long range maps, so you can just run in and get the headshots pretty quickly. However, I found Core a lot easier, because if you make a little mistake in hardcore, you're dead straight away. Then you've got to start from spawn, make your way all the way back over to the middle of the map where all the gunfire is happening, and then it's just rinse and repeat. Where with Core, you do get that little extra time to try and adjust and make sure you are getting those headshots. I've also found as well, it doesn't really matter what site you use. Now some people like to use a specific site, so people like to use an X amount of zoom site. I have simply just been using either the Lethal Tools ELO site or the LTI Mini, depending on what level my weapon has been at that time, if I've got the Tools ELO site unlocked or not. So personally, I would highly recommend making sure that you are using a site, because most of the iron sites you are going to struggle trying to make sure you're on target and hitting the head. Now before we carry on with this video guys, just a quick shout out from one of my partners, Control Freaks. If you want to improve your aim in game and get your easier headshots, then check the link down below or use the code Floppy Penguin at checkout and you can get yourself a cheeky little discount. Now speaking of improving your aiming game, accuracy is going to be a huge thing in this, and if you're not very good at, you know, getting your kills easily on target on a regular basis, because as we're all aware, aim assist has been nerfed quite a bit, so you are going to have to try and work harder to improve with your accuracy. So before going into any game, I would actually recommend just going into a lobby with bots on private mode, or even just going to the firing range and just try snapping on the heads a lot more regular. Like I said, if you're at a level playing field on the level ground as the enemy, aim slightly above the head and pull your analog stick down. If you're above them, aim for around the upper of the chest / neck, because when they try to move away from bullets, they tend to move forward behind cover. Usually that's what I've found. So then you'll be able to make sure you are hitting those heads on target when pulling the analog stick down. Now recoil patterns is a big thing you need to learn, and I know this is playing like the dumb drum card, like this is how you should play this game, this is how you improve your accuracy and your recoil, but you do need to really learn recoil patterns. Now what I tend to do is either go into a private match or even pull down the target practice in the firing range, and I will shoot at a blank wall. All I'll do is just aim like I normally would aim and shoot, but I wouldn't try and move the right trigger at all to try and prevent any kind of recoil. What you then want to do is shoot at the wall, and as you're shooting at the wall you'll see roughly where the weapon's going. So if it's going up and to the left, then you'll need to hold the right analog stick down and to the right. This will then counterbalance any of that recoil that is going ahead and bouncing up into the sky, where you're going to find it a lot more difficult to be keeping your accuracy on target. Now of course, if you guys have a bit of stick drift, you'll also need to be having a look at your dead zones and making sure they are okay. Now I'm not going to go in a full in-depth video on how to make sure your dead zones are completely perfect to your controller. I know you see a lot of videos out there saying, oh, you need to do it this way, and to be honest with you, it all depends and varies on your controller if you need to do the exact same adjustments as some streamers and YouTubers that you may see. Every controller is completely different, so you'll need to try and figure it out in game. Best way to do it is hop into a private match and just keep adjusting as much as you possibly can, and then figure it out from there. That is going to be the best option for that. So like I said, these are just some little breakdown tips what I've done to go ahead and get myself some gold camos and get these headshots a lot quicker. Like I said, it is all down to personal preference on what you actually do and how you want to go about it, but this is what I've been doing, and like I said, I am finding it very, very easy. I've been completing most weapons in gold camo in under 500 kills, which I think is very, very good. I do tend to aim for about 10 to 15 headshots per game as a bare minimum. If I come out with anything less than that, I find it very disappointing. I would say don't worry about your KD. If you're somebody that worries about your KD a lot, let's be honest, the matchmaking's a lot better this year than we've ever had because they've got rid of skill-based matchmaking. So I wouldn't worry too much about your KD if you're focusing on camos. You cannot focus on both at the same time, because if you're aiming on headshots, you're not really focusing on trying to win the gunfights, are you? You just want to get them headshots. So I wouldn't, get too down about your KD or anything like that. Just focus on the camos and everything will all come together. But if you have enjoyed today's video, guys, definitely smash that like button. I did post a video earlier today on how you can actually have some good class builds and get a lot of kills. So if you haven't checked that out yet, I'll leave a link up in the top corner. But thank you guys so much for tuning in, and as always, I'll catch you on the next video.